Hi, good morning. What's up? I've just woken up. Hi, Linda. Good, thanks. I've just woken up. Okay. Remember when I told you guys some time ago about my laundry and how it is that the domestic worker deliberately took it out of the washing machine? Like, I've just woken up to find something, and it's like, I haven't even brushed my teeth. Like, I literally just woke up. I just got out of bed. I'll show it to you later, what I mean, because the domestic worker is working around there. I'm just going to the bench where I was last time so I can put my phone down. Like, okay. I was actually sitting exactly here, and I said that the domestic worker, everybody disrespects me, and I have no right to, no recourse, no avenue of justice or whatever. And I said that, you know what, guys, I am a child of God, and because I'm a child of God, I always have to think about forgiveness. I always have to consider forgiveness. I always have to consider forgiveness to a level or a point of making things be water under the bridge. Like, forget about it, it's cool. Like, you know, the level of forgiveness where a person is able to come back into your life. A person is able to apologize and say, I messed up. Take me back in. But there are, yeah, that level of forgiveness, like pretty much what it is that Joseph's brothers did in Egypt when Joseph's brothers came to get food during the famine. Joseph said, what you intended for evil, the Lord worked it out for good, the saving of many lives. And then the brothers of Joseph were able to have a very bountiful, prosperous, wealthy life in Egypt. Like, the brother was the prime minister of Egypt, and so obviously they had prominence. They were given good houses. They were not refugees in Egypt, in Egypt, where they were just given basic housing, basic food, and that's it. They had prominent lives, like coming to South Africa and being given a mansion in Sandton, right? That is literally what Joseph's brothers enjoyed. Coming to South Africa and being given a mansion in Sandton and killing it with the elite of this country, where it is that where even when you walk in the streets, people acknowledge you, they greet you, and they see you as somebody that is of importance and that nobody should step on your toes. They have to respect. That level of forgiveness is what we have to give people. You know, if it is within our prerogative or our power to do so. But people need to always think about the various stories in the Bible, the numerous stories in the Bible, in order to figure out what you need to do with your forgiveness story. You cannot just, the scriptures make it clear that we have to forgive 70 times 7 times. That when a person comes back and that's also another thing. That thing with the forgiveness of 70 times 7 times, the Bible says that if a person comes to you and asks you for that forgiveness, you must forgive them 70 times 7 times. But the Lord does say, do not cast your pearls to the pigs, nor give what is sacred to dogs, lest they should trample you underfoot and then turn around and tear you to pieces. So it is a very thin line between cutting a person off to a point where it's like the INFJ door slam, cutting them off and never letting them come back ever again in your life because they are a pig and swine, because they are a pig and dog. There is a difference between that and figuring out if we're dealing with the situation of Joseph's brothers. There is a massive difference. There is a difference in, like, I kept on uploading those pics from the movie Apocalypto, those images on my Facebook to show you the state of South Africa. When a country is that bloodthirsty for people, they are no longer people with whom you can go back and say, look, I forgive you for trying to just decapitate me and throw my rolling head down a mountain. There is a time that arrives when you know that you're dealing with a wicked people that just need to be run away from and you never look back. And then there is a time when you can maybe accommodate a person coming back into your life because they've woken up and seen what's going on. And I'm going to give you a couple of scriptures, and this time around I'm not going to cry. What I just saw now, dream the hell on. If you think I'm going to cry every single time you pull a stunt of that nature, like, you and your damn demons. Like, here's the deal. Everybody that is demon possessed or demon oppressed or whatever, unlike what you see in Hollywood movies with the exorcism of Emily Rose, where people are crawling up walls and they can't even control themselves and they're speaking in multiple tongues of different demons. In such cases, yes, whole extreme, and a person has lost their faculties altogether. But for the better part, and I don't doubt that that kind of possession, demon possession, is possible, but for the better part of the time, demonic possession in people operates the way that our society generally operates. Most people are not running up and down caves, do you understand? Foaming at the side in their mouths, literally speaking languages that they have never learned from birth. Most people who are demon possessed are walking around looking just like you, just like me, but they manifest certain things. And if a person is walking around society looking just like you and just like me, the nice thing about that kind of demon possession is they freaking know they're sick. They know they need help. They know they need to go and choose some freaking medication. They know they need to see a damn doctor. They're freaking aware that what they need to do is get help. They're not sitting where they're sitting thinking what they're doing is freaking alright, okay? They're not so deceived and so taken and so duped. They're not so swung, literally from here to Timbuktu, left to right, to a point of not being able to gauge thoroughly what in the world is freaking happening. They know, meaning that attached to their attack of you that they're aware they're sick as a result of doing, attached to it, is a malicious intention that is outwardly, truthfully, and entirely arrogant to anticipate you're not going anywhere. They literally do what they do, operating on nothing but jealousy or whatever is their motivation, and they trust that they can keep on with their crap for as long as they want. And that thing that they're doing, they will not get any recompense for it. Remember, the very day when I was talking, sitting in this bench, I was lamenting about a lack of recourse. And I went and I accused the wrong person entirely of doing random things to me. And I am grateful to the Lord that He is in the business of vindication. He's in the business of exoneration. He is in the business of setting people free from whatever accusations we slap them with. And I slapped our domestic worker with an accusation of being malicious, of being ransacking, of being abusive of me just as much as my whole family is abusive of me. I take it back and I'm sorry. And I have to come here and apologize to the audience to let them know that that blog where I spoke about this particular thing, I think I might even attach it to the screen here somewhere. I might put it on my screen, that particular video, so you can listen to it again if you want to. It is at your liberty. And hear me basically character assassinate the domestic worker for crimes she did not commit. God, please remind me to attach that video somewhere on the screen so people can be able to indeed go to it. Type establishment thing. Those things, that accusation, I came to the conclusion was not the correct one. It was wrong. I was basically way in over my head, and I am grateful that I did not, as a result, hurt the domestic worker or give her attitude or pass her shade or do anything strange that's out of whack as a result of my suspicions of what she may or may not have done. I'm glad that I carried on as normal with her, and in carrying on as normal, she has no clue that I was at some point accusing her of stuff. But just in case my work does at some point blow off and like catch fire and people start listening to me, then what I said needs to give her vindication that she might not go down in history or whatever as this like monstrous woman that had no self-control and did random things on a property and could not for the life of her honor or respect what it is that she was supposed to do as a person. The Bible, let's go back to the Bible. Last week, that laundry of mine that was outside and it had not even been run. Last night I actually did run the laundry, but I forgot to hang it. I forgot to bring it down, take it down. I forgot to take it out of the washing machine. In fact, I never do. I run it, and then the domestic worker is the one that hangs it. This is what happened today. My wet laundry that smells like Stay Soft, my wet laundry that smells like fabric softener and soap, is now in the same refuse bag that it was in last week, waiting outside for me to do whatever the heck I want to do with it. Barbara, my own mother, has literally kicked me out and said, "You're nothing, you ain't jack. The services of the domestic worker that I have in this property are mine only, and this lady's only. They're your little sisters." Literally, she has thrown me out with the status of Cinderella. She has confirmed to me that you're no one to me. I might have given birth to you, but you don't matter. She's going out of her way to crush my spirit and make me feel like I am the scum of the earth. She is doing everything practically like doable or feasible in her environment to make me feel like I am nothing. Like nothing. I spoke about infanticide, a woman that is in broad daylight killing her own child. The domestic worker has never minded putting my laundry on the line or even ironing it and then giving it to me folded. But she has said, "You will get nothing from me." I would get if she had the level of demon possession that Emily Rose had, and she had to be bound up in chains on a bed and have holy water thrown on her. And that if you let her go, she might just go out on the street and actually kill someone the way she's so demon possessed. But no, we're dealing with a kind of demonic possession that generally follows the human race, period. Society at large, who operate thanks to the common grace of God. Generally, normally, they can smile and laugh at people, with people. They can like come across as friendly, look normal, basically. But inside, they're like sickly. Inside, there's something deadly. It's like having a being diagnosed with late stage cancer. But all you have is a stomach ache, and so you can walk to the stores and come back. You're dying. You're terminal. It's obvious it's over for you, but you look normal. You look normal. And so for the season before your cancer is full blown, for the season before your cancer completely eats away at your body, you act like a fool. You act like a fool, like you can walk around and people imagine that you've got a clean bill of health, that they're going to see you again next year and the next year and the next year when you only have 2 months to live. That is what like severely demonically possessed people are like, that are not manifesting the way that you would find Emily Rose manifesting, walking up looking like a fly up a wall. And with these people, given granted that they know what they're doing is messed up, but they don't want help, this is the kind of thing that ought make you then conclude whether or not you are dealing with the ancient civilization in the movie Apocalypto, where you just grab your bags and you go, you run and you never look back, or if you're dealing with people that are seasonally pompous because they don't know when the world God gave them, like Nebuchadnezzar. And so they're made to eat grass for 7 years, but after that 7 years period has passed, they're given grace, glory, mercy. They're restored to everything that they need, lacking in nothing. I would not be, and so because they will be restored to everything once they do a 180, once they turn around and realize that they messed up, once they see that the nations of this world are accounted as nothing before Emmanuel, who can say, what have you done? Once they get there, they then realize, like Joseph's brothers, that what we did was messed up. Once they get thrown into obscurity, once they get thrown into any kind of strange thing, they then can come around and be like, I'm sorry, even grovel and say, I apologize. How do you know if you're dealing with Joseph's brothers, or if you're dealing with Penina? How do you know if you're dealing with Joseph's brothers, or if you're dealing with Absalom, David's son? How do you know if you're dealing with Joseph's brothers, or if you are dealing with Saul, David's like mentor that turned all like pear-shaped on him? How do you know if you're dealing with Haman in the presence of Esther and Mordecai? How in the world are you aware that you are dealing with somebody that is Micaiah, who is this? Not Micaiah, but Michal, David's first wife, who hated the joy and the glory of David when he was coming in as a king and celebrating and telling him that as a king you can't dance up and down, like you look like a fool, please keep yourself in a bunch. And David was like, whatever, woman, like you're bitter because your life is over. I'm not going to withhold the joy of the Lord from me and jump up and down on the spot. How do you know if you're dealing with people that you just need to write off because they're freaking bitter and they'll never come around, and their judgment is indeed that the Lord would keep his son or his daughter in obscurity for a season just for the very purpose that these people might outdo themselves, like literally to the nth freaking degree, outdo themselves, so that by the time you get your day in court and your justice, you literally make like a vehicle or a scooter, like driving off, leaving a plume of smoke behind for people to literally understand that now dust is on them and they've been left behind. How do you know if you need to tell them what the Lord has intended, what you intended for evil, the Lord has used it for good, the saving of many lives, versus accepting as David that your son Absalom got hung trying to freaking kill you? Like the guy was trying to kill you, and that's why he died. Like David is like me. Proper. Like David's whole story is like me when it comes to Saul and his son Absalom. The guy never wanted any of these people dead. He had 2 opportunities to kill Saul. 2. And he didn't do it. Because to him it was like, Saul is like my father. That was David. He let him go so very many times, but every single time that David let Saul go, Saul tried again and again to kill him. Again and again to kill him. That's the level of envy and jealousy and desire to neutralize the person that God has replaced you with, that David had. Absalom wanted to kill his dad. When Absalom was killed by one of David's men, David mourned and lamented and grieved. He was crying over a dude that was pursuing him for death. Absalom, if he had succeeded to kill his dad, David, would not have mourned, groaned, groveled, and begged and basically at David's funeral. He would have celebrated and said, look, your former king is dead and I'm king now. That like miscreant is gone and now I'm running the show. He would have taken David's throne and prided himself and gotten fat and been pompous for the rest of his reign of terror in Israel. That is what Absalom would have done. Saul would have literally dusted his hands off and said, I finally got rid of the dude that apparently was supposed to replace me according to the prophet Samuel. Saul and Absalom each would have celebrated and burped at the same celebration, following eating good delicacies, not fasting, not wearing sackcloth, nothing, at the death of David. But David cried for the death of both people. He was sad for both of them. When both of them kicked the bucket, he mourned, he groveled, he groaned. And if anything, he complained and lamented against the people, his own men that killed his son Absalom. He was 5 seconds away from even saying, you're judged, like you be killed because you killed my child. Why? Because David was still holding on to a hope, a belief that Absalom might come around. Come on, you're my son, you're my blood, you can't do this to me. He was holding on to the hope that Saul might remember that David was like a son to him. He was holding on to all of that. And so what did God Almighty do on behalf of David? Because God Almighty saw that David was basically whipped with love for his like father figure in Saul as well as his son. The Lord then made David's mighty men. The Lord made extenuating circumstances, conditions, everything, anything other than David's own hand to neutralize some fools that David would never be able to neutralize himself. Saul died in battle. He jumped on a sword and died right next to his son Jonathan, I believe. And Absalom was caught by his hair on a tree. Cursed is the man that hangs on a tree. And then one of David's men found him in that position and killed him. Literally, it's like other people have to make decisions on your behalf. I remember when I was at Cosmo City, suffering with the drunkardness and the irresponsibility and the rebellion of Sillo, my dad. And there was like literally like the police had to freaking come because he called them on me, trying to kick me out of a house that Barbara had rented for both of us. And I was surrounded by these kids. You guys know that I had all these kids around at Cosmo City. The police came to a sound conclusion when they walked into the environment because the man wanted to get me accosted or harassed or spoken to by the police as a disrespectful daughter, like a domestic dispute. There was no fight, no scar. I was like literally washing laundry and the guy called the freaking police on me. Like, these are the kinds of things that my parents have done to me in this time. The police said, the one dude, after gauging the situation, realizing what's going on, calmed down and was like, Baba, is that basic? You are crazy. You are literally crazy. You are busy calling us to do what to this woman? She's obviously under duress. I don't know why she's being made to live with you. You obviously are abusive. You smell like alcohol. And this woman is literally, like, she looks like she can't freaking hurt a fly. And you have called us out of our job when we've got all these other random crimes to deal with in this community, when we've got all of these other like true domestic interruptions where men are like beating their women to a pulp. Like, you literally called us out of the police station to come and attend to this matter that really ain't even a freaking situation at all. Like, leave her alone. And then the guy came to me personally and asked me, Cece, what's going on with your life? Why are you in this situation? Don't you have a boyfriend or whatever? Don't you have anywhere where you can run and actually find solace? Don't you have friends that you can be like chill at for a season so you don't have to be with your dad? I was like, my life is a little bit different. But that's what's on it. He was like, then can't you just move out? Where's your mom? Where's your whatnot? And I more or less explained to this police officer what my situation was. And he said to me, you need to then walk away from this man or something, since irenti patalwa ngabantu bakho. So why under heaven are you sitting this situation out? And my response was, you don't throw a person away when they're still poor, when they don't have anything. You don't throw family out on the street. You don't let them eat dust. You don't do that. And this police officer was like, well, yes, Sisi, if that's what you believe, if that's what you think, if you're dealing with the situation in Jena, the situation this situation between you and your dad, it's going to end with us fetching somebody out of you in a body bag. You're either going to snap and end up committing murder when that's not the kind of thing you're into, or he's going to one day kill you. This situation over here is going to result in murder because you are not going to be smart and wise enough, young woman, to get out of here or sort yourself out. The man had no clue about life conditions that I couldn't actually escape and survive. I couldn't. Like, I was literally stuck. I was stranded. Where was I going to go? And Barbara was not about to come and help me kick that man out. She was allowing him to linger about me. And this police officer basically told me that you're going to be in trouble. You're going to either die or you're going to kill somebody and have murder on your back as a statistic, literally as a charge against your name, when you never would have done that, because he pushed you to a point where you finally drove a knife into his back. And I was like, hey, ngiyabonga kodwa, police detective officer person. I was like, thank you. Thanks for the advice. And he left and the situation lingered. God himself rescued me out of that. But what I'm trying to help you understand with the situation, what I'm trying to help you gauge, what I'm trying to extract, the lesson I'm trying to extract out of that whole thing is that it took a police officer to get this like nitwit off my back. The police officers, there were two of them. One of them was made to go and talk to my dad and rebuke him for abusing me. But he was basically put in his place by someone else. I was never going to do it. I was never going to do it. Sometimes God does that, where it is that you are so compassionate and so loving and have so much strong desire for the coming around of your people, your friends, your family members, people that you hope to repent because you know that Saul on the road to Damascus finally loved Jesus. He met Christ and got saved. So even some of the worst persecutors of the church that are basically freaking bloodthirsty can turn around and be rescued. But we don't know. Sadly, we have no ability to be able to see with spiritual goggles. Who in the world is a person that we can trust to keep on trying with versus one that's going to try and kill us all the way to the end? That we're busy out here in these streets giving a shot and another shot and another shot and another shot. We have no idea who it is. So when you don't have an idea and you are walking around like Jesus trying to forgive everybody, you're walking around like Jesus trying to forgive 70 times 7 times. A ward with, what do you call this? Second and third and 5th, 5th and 10th shots, amnesty, people that will kill you if you don't run. That will basically burn and melt on the day of your redemption. They will never come around. You will keep on trying to serve them at your expense. It is very difficult to figure out when you're casting your pearls to the pigs versus when you are holding out and evangelizing somebody that might just come around because you're patient. It's very tough for us to be able to separate between those two. It is very difficult, and especially when it is involving family members and friends, people in your inner circle that you loved, people that you really don't want to go and burn eternally for random crimes that they committed. So the Lord sometimes brings a police officer to rebuke the fool that will never come around. He never came around. To this day, he's still like a whole bum, sticking to his guns that he's saved in the Lord Jesus Christ while he is an abuser. That is my dad. To this day, he never has come around. And yet I was kind of hoping that he's going to do a 180. How do you know if you're going to end up dying because you're hoping to rescue someone versus not? There is this missionary from the United States that went to some unreached village somewhere in the jungles of South America, and he got killed talking to a tribe of people that he had gone to multiple times trying to reach for the Lord Jesus Christ. And the last time he went, he never came back home. He got murdered. He got killed. His family members had to send out people to that region to see if they can't find his body, and they found out that he had been murdered because he just went quiet all of a sudden. How do you know to not go back somewhere? How do you know if you're going to be dealing with the ancestral, not ancestral, but what do you call this ancient civilization in the movie Apocalypto that just wants to sever your head, cut your head, and roll it down a mountain, roll it down a staircase? How do you know if a people that you keep on evangelizing are just going to end up killing you because they're sick and tired of you freaking trying? How do you know? You don't. So sometimes God comes in and does it on your behalf. The Lord is the one that kills Absalom on behalf of David. The Lord is the one that kills Saul on behalf of David, because the Lord knows that David is never going to kill Saul or Absalom. He had David in his grasp 2 times and let him go. That he had to live in 2 times in his life, away from his land. He had to live in caves, hide. That was David's life, just that level of discomfort. And I have got an Absalom for a family and a David, and I am holding on for dear freaking life, I don't know what for, to rescue people that will never come around. At what point? And I'm even speaking like this now because I'm angry and I'm hot, clearly. This is new, fresh information that has come into my understanding. But you can trust that tomorrow, the next day, day after that, one of these random filthy women is going to smile at me, and I'm going to feel like maybe there's hope. So I'm coming here, blowing steam out my ears, but understand that in 10 days from today, I'm going to rock up and be like, look, I really desire that my mother should come around. I really desire that my family members should be like, Reuben? They should be like Gad. They should be like Issachar and Judah. They should make like Joseph's brothers and come back around again. I am literally going to be swung like a pendulum left to right in indecision. I'm going to be yo-yoed in indecision pertaining them. So the only way that these random fools can be ransacked and handled is if somebody else rocks up and kills them on my behalf. Long story short, I have to be wrenched out of the situation unwillingly. It literally has to happen that way. I have to be taken out of my own will. I have to have somebody rock up at a tree where Absalom is hanging by his hair and put a spear through his heart, knowing that this guy's never going to stop pursuing our king. I need that. I'm wholeheartedly unable to come at my family members with final judgment. I will never get there. I'm certain. So my prayer at this point is that the Lord God Almighty would rescue me from myself, that the Lord will rescue me from Penina, that God will rescue me from Michal, that God will rescue me from Absalom and Saul, that God will rescue me from Haman, who went and killed Mordecai, not killed, sorry, but tried to have Mordecai killed, because he was busy kissing the butt of the king, hoping that the king is going to give him favor rather. I am going to be having people lurking around me that are going to freaking kill me. I woke up from a dream just this past night where my family members were attending my funeral, and I keep on getting that dream. But first of all, how am I going to get out of here? Like the same the police officer that was busy talking with me kept on saying, you need to get out. I had no way of getting out. That's the thing. I freaking need to be rescued, like flat out, like the way that Rebecca was taken out of her home by Isaac's servant. I need to be taken out of here in the same way where I am out here praying like a drunkard, and I have some random priest rocking up and prophesying over me, telling me that I'm going to be okay, and I'm getting out of this situation. I'm going to conceive. I need to be taken out of here. I can't really say that against my will, but I need to be rescued from my family. I need to be saved from them. I'm pretty sure that this woman is like Michal, like Penina. The woman will rap and mock Hannah and mock her until she has a baby. But is there any way written in the scriptures that Penina, after coming around full circle, after Hannah got her baby, that Penina was like, I'm sorry, like what I did was messed up? No. The woman was silenced. She was made to shut up. Some people just never say sorry. They just get handled. It's that basic. There are people that never say sorry, they just get handled. I had a dream of a cousin of mine prancing up and down in like prostitute attire, gloating about the fact that she lost weight. She also has a great body, and mine is there for nothing. It ain't jack. The way that I'm busy working out here in these streets, and I'm like, she used to be one of my closest confidants, and she also used to be one of my sweetest cousins. And there was a time when I went through this very same affliction by my family, and she was the only one that was there for me. And the same cousin, I had a dream of her basically trying to gloat her filthy life in my presence. That's full of freaking demonic possession, where they're busy killing one of their own as a collective. And that is something that is worthy of her in all of her futility and her pettiness, to prance around in my face gloating when I'm dying. Like they're competitive in a very petty level where I'm dying. I don't know what to do, guys. My faith is waxing thin. I'm like SF, Psalm 73, bashing my fist at Emmanuel, wondering, when is this gonna come around for me? Today is Friday the, like, I don't know, is it like 13th or literally Friday the 13th? I think it's Friday the 13th or Friday the 14th of May or whatever, 2022. Last week Friday, which was the 7th, this happened. And this situation I have come to see is going to keep on happening, where my laundry in the washing machine is going to be put in a freaking refuse bag like I am dirt, like I am nobody, and it's going to be basically 5 seconds away from being thrown away. So I have to protect my heart from being broken. I have to not allow this woman an avenue to do that to me again. This is how I operate in this world, in this property, in this persecuted life. Let me help you understand. Just so I don't get yelled at for random indiscretions that I apparently committed, just so I don't perpetually have somebody coming down my neck, breathing down my neck over something I have done or not done. I literally always dot my I's and cross my T's. I wash the dishes, just like literally can throw a spoon into the sink and I wash it straight away. I make sure that she has no ability or avenue to speak smack to me, literally breathe down my neck, crawling like a freaking snake, trying to like inspire venom into my neck and kill me. I try to not have her talk. Like whenever she walks into the room, I walk out. And if I can't walk out, I cross my fingers hoping she's not going to talk, because for the better part of the time when she opens her mouth, she breathes vitriol. Out of a 7-day week, she only speaks well to me, literally only like 1 or 2 times. Mostly, I just walk out and I don't at all. Like face, I don't have to deal with her. I literally duck her like she's freaking rain and I'm a black person. I duck her. But sometimes, like there are times when I can't. Like I would be in the shower. I can't duck then. I'm like literally drenched, I'm wet. I first have to get out of there, wipe my body, put a towel or a gown on me, and then go out. No. She will literally open, like swing open the bathroom door and rap for the duration of my shower. However long it takes for the water to for me to close the tap, wipe my body, get out. And so her voice would basically not be heard by me. Literally, I would close the door while she's still here. And that'll be the only time I get reprieve, because I actually walk out of that environment, that radar. Like a constant dripping on a rainy day, so too it is to live in a house with a quarrelsome woman, with a contentious woman. It is better to live on the corner of a roof than to share a house with a quarrelsome or a contentious woman. It is better to live in a desert than to share a house with a quarrelsome or a contentious woman. And that is for men. Like if you marry a quarrelsome woman, you ain't never gonna chill. You're never gonna rest. She's always gonna be here. And you're always gonna wanna leave your house. You're gonna struggle to come back home and sleep because she might just still be rapping. Like, you know, one of those jokes that they make on TikTok where a person is on the phone and you put your phone down and you go run errands, you take a shower, you literally like make breakfast, dinner, you watch a whole show on Netflix and come back and the person is still like, yeah. That is a contentious woman. Literally, my mother's like that. She could start with me and not stop, and I could literally, there were days when I have had to like walk out of the yard and like go around the complex and aimlessly walk. And when I come back, she's still here. She does not even notice I've left. Does not even notice I have left. Sometimes my younger sister will be like, Ma, she's not even here, leave it alone. And he's like, ah, and then she would respond on being like, no, Mara, I'd say, this is what I said. She doesn't want to, and then she would bring my little sister into it, and my little sister would then just sit it out and listen because she does not get that level of rubbish from her. That is how my life is here. I'm literally living with that contentious woman that's like, perpetually. She will not leave me alone, and sometimes she attacks me because she knows I woke up when she starts to speak smack. During times when I can't get out of the house, like when I'm in the shower, if anything, that's like her favorite time to come at me like a ton of bricks. And the thing that she's usually attacking me for, wreaking havoc in my life for, Wait, I don't know how many times I have to tell you to close the door. I don't know how many times I have to tell you to put the toilet paper here. I don't know how many times I have to tell you that this is what you need to do with the washing rags in the kitchen. Having walked past the kitchen that is completely spotless because I just washed the dishes and wiped all the kitchen counters, but she's gonna notice that I used a fresh, washing rag. Whereas there were others that were there that I need to first use for the week. How it is that things came about, that even dishcloths in the kitchen get hidden from me, toilet paper, soap, like random basic needs. How it is that that stuff came about was because she apparently is sick and tired of me not quite getting fast enough that I need to use perhaps 5 sheets of toilet paper every time I go take a dump or whatever. Or I use way too much soap. I need to basically let the soap get to the very end of itself before I can use a new bar. So I no longer can just open a cupboard, grab new soap because there's like that little soap left in the shower and it's heavy and uncomfortable to try and use that to like bathe my body. These are the things that she will rap on at me for like ever and a day over. And if I even dare say one thing back, my goodness, if I try to defend myself, because it's a lot of vitriol, it's a lot of goal, it's a lot of character assassination, like things that are not true of me. So of course I feel some kind of way and I want to try and defend myself. I rarely ever do. But there are times when she's speaking so much rubbish that I eventually respond. And if I dare respond, this will be something that will be going on for hours and hours, and it might even result in me getting kicked out of home, period. So I have learned to just listen to her talk rubbish and then walk out and let her voice linger alone while she decides to like taper down, like a balloon falling after it's popped, on the floor, whatever. She will eventually shut up on her own while talking on her own while I can't hear her because I'm now back there. Contentious, dripping tap, 24 freaking hours a day, and I never know what mood she's coming from wherever with. So I can never trust that today she's gonna smile and be fresh and friendly. When I walk into the house in the mornings and I see her, I have to greet. And I don't know if her greeting is her response is going to be hello, kindly, or hello. But I never know. I never know. I literally walk into the environment unsure of what I'm gonna be met with today. So for the better part of the time, I just avoid even walking in. If she's in there. When she's in the kitchen, I get out. If at all I'm in the kitchen still busy washing dishes while she's there, I get anxious, like I get palpitations, like my heart beats really fast. It beats really fast and I just want her to get out. Because she can just blow out into some accusation, like easily, quickly, out of nowhere, and break my heart. I'm trying to be strong enough to not commit suicide. So every time people just vomit, spew bile all up in my grill, it crushes me to a point where I desire to die so strongly that I cry to God and say, why is suicide even so wrong? Literally, I have gone to God and begged him, and I literally tried to negotiate with him to commit suicide. I have gone and said to the Lord, is it really that bad? Like, I mean, I can tell, I feel I've got the Holy Spirit. This life is not for me. Can I come home? Can I please just take myself in? I have to resist all of that in trusting that the Lord said that you shall not test the Lord your God. Because that's what happened with Christ in the wilderness. Jump off this cliff and trust the angels of God to catch you. That's exactly what suicide is. And God responded by saying, you shall not test the Lord your God. But how many times have I taken it to God and said, but really, we're no longer under what is this? The law, now we're under grace. Like literally using all of these excuses that people use in order to commit fornication, in order to commit all of these other sins against Christ. No, I'm covered by the Lord. Don't come and judge me when you call out a person for cohabiting with their boyfriend. You know how the world of professing Christians, of lukewarm Christians, love to justify their sin with the fact that we're no longer under the law but under grace. I get into lukewarm mode where I'm like, Emma, is it really? I mean, come on, like you covered my sins past, present, and future. You covered every sin, including murder. You covered every sin, including, I would imagine, suicide. I can't live like this anymore. Is it really that bad? And I will get into that mode where I'm literally pacing up and down on the floor for hours, begging God to let me take my life. I will then go to bed that same night and I will get a dream of me being in the flames of hell. Like it's been a cycle of that nature for years. I have literally been snatched out from the flames of hell, saved or rescued from suicide by nightmares, by dreams, by visions of me walking either on cockles or being in some dark canyon, like some dark environment that I can't escape, and me just pacing up and down in it. And the Lord, me then coming to the conclusion that that's God warning me that don't you dare kill yourself, I'm doing a thing here. Just pray, wait, and I will give you freedom. I will eventually set you free, but I'm in that bad a situation right now. So now when a mother has caused her daughter to negotiate with the Lord to commit suicide, literally for 8 years on a loop, non-stop, and she's still carrying on, what the hell? She's Absalom. She's a family member that is out for the blood of her own relative. She is Saul. She's a person whose glory has been taken away from her because she would not honor the Lord at some point in her life, and so God took away the anointing from her. And now she's looking at my life and can't freaking stomach the fact that she is going to hell while I have taken the promise that she abandoned at the door some time ago. Nothing is going to get me out from ever hoping my mother will come around. So I need literally intervention. I need to be helped. I need Absalom to be neutralized on my behalf. I don't even know how many times I've even gone to God and said, Father, kill her then, take her life, let her die in a car accident, or she's old so she can get a heart attack or a stroke or something. I literally cannot live. I can't survive with this woman. I have gone to a point where I have felt like she needs to die. Like, you know, when people abuse you that badly. When you are not the kind of person to desire death or harm for another person, and they hurt you so much that you now start to contemplate their death being feasible. That's how people get driven to murder. That's how wives end up driving knives into the throats of husbands. That is how completely innocuous people that would not harm a fly eventually commit murder. Literally, you drive a person insane so much that they ultimately grab a dagger. And I went to the Lord and I was like, I don't want, first of all, to be a criminal. And secondly, I don't want to regret longing for someone's death and now that they're dead. I then remember that literally 2 or 3 days before they died, I was absolutely desperate that they would die. And now I'm crying. Now I'm mourning. Rescue me, God, from myself. Save me from myself. Save me from this Jezebel that's telling herself, may the gods deal with me ever so severely if by this time tomorrow Elijah is not dead. This filthy woman has gone on to grab my laundry again and put it outside. This time it's wet, so it's clean. It's not even, I ran it last night. It's not even dirty. And I have to now take it from those plastic bags and hang it on the washing line. She basically told me that washing line on Friday is just for my laundry, not yours. I'm going to take it and I'm going to hang it on there, and she's probably going to come and give me grief for hanging my laundry on the washing line on a day when the domestic worker is working. The domestic worker did not do that. You know what, Barbara? You killed yourself. I did not kill you. I tried. I fought for you. But if you're Haman, literally trying to send an edict out in the nation to kill all the Jews, if you are Absalom trying to kill the future king of Israel or the current king of Israel, if you're Saul trying to kill the future king of Israel, if you are the ancient civilization Apocalypto trying to kill the son of the promise, if you are Penina who's going to mock a woman, a sister wife in the environment until she finally gives birth to a child and so shut you up, if you are Michal, David's first wife, who was Saul's daughter, If you are that woman and you will hate the joy of the Lord in a servant of God now that you're bitter and you're old news and there's nothing worth the while to look forward to, then I guess I need to be rescued from you. Because if I've got the heart of David, I would never ever be okay with leaving my family members in squalor and in sin. I will always have hope for them, but they will always come at me with freaking guns and bullets and knives and arrows and whatever they can, putting me in a Hunger Games arena when I didn't sign up for this. South Africa, you have seen it fit to make sure that no matter what, how much hope I have for you as a conglomerate, that you are Absalom. Hang with your hair on a tree until somebody responsible realizes that I am not brave enough, I don't have the guts, the balls, and I'm too naive to drive a knife into your own heart personally. I need to be rescued out of this country. I literally need to be saved from myself. I need to be saved from my hope in filthy people that will never do anything right. Otherwise, I'm going to be breathing bullets, like spitting fire venom, like this, bordering on profaning, because literally you can tell that profanity is on the tip of my tongue. And God said that our speech must be seasoned with salt. I will be doing this for the rest of my life amidst the people that will insist on driving daggers into my heart. And because I'm freaking Wolverine, I will rise from the dead over and over again. Literally, the restorative power of the Holy Spirit to bring back to true peace after you've been frazzled for a season. They're using it. They're ping-ponging me, like they're just throwing me. I'm like a pinata, and they keep on batting me perpetually because I bounce back. That's how my family have gotten away with murder for 8 years. I'd be dead by now. They've gotten away with murder because every time they pull a stunt, I bounce the heck back. I bounce back. So it looks as if though I'm healthy, I'm okay. I work out, I keep myself in a bunch. I am making sure that I stay alive. And so they don't have blood on their hands. They don't look like they're freaking murderers, a whole bunch of homicidal freaks that are bloodthirsty. It doesn't look that way because I'm keeping myself alive. But how long am I going to keep on surviving? Bullets entering my body like Wolverine and the X-Men. How long? How long am I going to keep on surviving that? One day they're going to put so many hails of bullets in me that I'm finally going to kill myself, hoping that God is going to enter me into the kingdom of heaven. I am prayerful. My heart is broken. I'm bleeding. Do you understand? And I'm looking at God and I'm like, Father, you're making me lose hope. I'm losing faith. Well, how in the world am I supposed to get out of this? Like my laundry, again, for a second week in a row, I've confirmed that it's not, like, literally the thing that I said is beyond this woman. She would never do it. I have now confirmed that she is indeed doing it. And why is the domestic worker walking by it? She doesn't want to get in bad hair or in bad state with a madam. She can see that it's my laundry that has been left to the side. Like, you know, when you work somewhere and you know that a person is being very badly mistreated, like like a Cinderella from here to Timbuktu, but you're the maid. And so you just keep quiet, you just observe these things, you see them, you feel kind of sad about it, but I mean, really, what can you do? It's job. It's a job here, and you're here to collect a salary every single month. So you can't quit a job. You can't quit your job because you just so happen to be working for an Illuminati human sacrifice ritual house. Because you work for some Freemason mansion in the woods that pays you a salary. You keep quiet about all the babies' heads that you keep on seeing being thrown out into the into the dustbins, into the inferno, into the incinerator. You keep on ignoring the smell of blood in the environment. You keep on disregarding the drops of blood on the floor when you walk in, or that you always, every so often, even have to wipe on the kitchen counter because you're there to do your job. You work for the freaking Illuminati, and so therefore every so often you hear screams, and then the person is quiet, and then blood like drips from like the ceiling, and you know that a human sacrifice ritual has been done. That's literally what the domestic worker here is like. She is witnessing some hard knock satanic rituals on the daily, on the weekly, every time she comes. And she goes home and it's just like, yo, guys, Freemason, kunzima. To work for a satanic cult, to clean up the house there, it's hard. This here is a cult. My family members are involved in a cult. They might as well be in a mountain somewhere. A suicide cult where they inhale some funny little toxic gas, following which they then all die together collectively because apparently their God called them home. My family and South Africa's like witchcraft freaking community are running a cult and nobody wants to bring them to book about it. But I'm going to tell my story and I'm going to speak until eventually somebody hurls me out of the situation. I'm not going to live in squalor and poverty. I'm not going to watch my stupid, filthy ex-boyfriend get away with having killed me. I'm not going to let my family members literally commit murder in a freaking trance and act as if they don't know what's going on when they only have the level of demon possession that is like that of most people. They know what they're doing is wrong, but they're carrying on. They're freaking thirsty for blood. They can't stop burping my demise. They literally are in on it together, butting heads in a dark room, killing their own. They can go screw themselves. As far as I'm concerned, I am not doing this. I am done. But then again, like I said, I'm saying this right now because I'm pissed off. But tomorrow I might come back and be like, but maybe they're Joseph's brothers. I need someone to do a fast one on them. I need someone to pull the rug from underneath their feet. I need someone to neutralize my family members on my behalf. I will not be able to do it for myself. That is what I'm basically here coming to say. That they're going to ping pong me like a yo-yo. They're going to ping pong me, literally swing me left to right like a pendulum until I die or somebody takes me out of here. I don't know if I am the tantamount right now of John at Patmos or Rebecca just waiting to get taken out from a household in order to go and get married or whatever. But right now, I don't even care anymore how in the world I get out of this country, out of this world. I just need to know that wherever it is that I'm going to go, I'm going to be safe. I need to get out of South Africa. It is a satanic nation. It's filthy. Everybody here's into random freaking satanic rituals in broad daylight. They kill family members, they kill friends, they kill exes, and they do it in a way that helps them get away with it because others ignore the victim as they're suffering, like literally gawking at them in their eyes. They are witnessing a ritual, and I'm like literally a person that is being hung on a cross, or I'm in the center of a seance, and they're all just like chanting and grunting around me, drinking animal blood, about to eat my flesh as cannibals. That is what is happening in South Africa, and everybody is ignoring it. I'm signing out. I'll show you that bag, and then I'm done for the day talking. I was probably going to sit and do nothing today and take a break because I said the other day that I am going to start taking like breaks and not working so hard and not working too much because then I'm going to burn out. Well, I guess sometimes I'm just driven to work because random rubbish of this nature happens. But as for Barbara, my cousins, my family members, my relatives, all of them, uncles, aunts, you are satanic. And frankly, I pray and I desire that the Lord should neutralize you on my behalf since I'm struggling. It's over. Even though I might come back tomorrow and say, I hope it's not over. I really pray that like Penina, I just get a baby and you shut up. I'm out. And the thing about this laundry is that there aren't even like that many things inside here. It's literally just like a few things. I only had my gown, some shorts, perhaps some pants. It's not as much as last time. And they're not even funding themselves to put it on the washing line because I ain't Jack. And somebody working for the freaking Freemason Society has left it because what if then they sacrifice her? What if she loses her job because she decided to freaking do a decent thing? Like, you know, God says that if you cause people to sin, it might as well be a millstone tied around your neck and you then being thrown into the water, into the ocean, than for you to face God on the judgment. Literally, they have made the domestic workers sin against me. South Africa, you know what? Just like this green refuse bag here on the floor that's sitting out here in these streets waiting to find garbage found in it, put in it, that's you. You're like you've got this. This is what's waiting for you. Literally, as a freaking country, like all of y'all combined, that green refuse bag over there that puts completely clean clothes inside a dustbin bag. That's you. Like, that's what's waiting for you eternally. Some dustbin bag for perfectly healthy people, perfectly healthy clothing, perfectly whole and complete individuals are going to be put in an eternal dustbin because all you could do is put perfectly healthy people on earth in dustbins. Ambani, ne green plastic bag yenu, no mona, and your ancestral worship and your satanic rituals that you keep on committing in broad daylight. Pamgo abantu bonke la emgaqweni to see ukuthi nibolile ambani. Carry on. And see what the hell God does with you as a country. It's over. That is what is waiting in store for you eternally. Watch the space. You are judged as a nation, period. You're freaking Sodom. You are Gomorrah. You're gonna burn.